check out who is here in studio. A man who is playing the role of Cordell Walker in Walker. New episode airing tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern on the CW. New episodes air every single Thursday through the season finale on May 11th. Jared Padalecki, good to see you, sir.
Good to see you back, Rich.
And you just were kind enough to say that you would wear a suit running a 40-yard dash, which is, is the logo of this show.
I've seen many of your 40s.
I appreciate that. Yeah. And they look exactly like the logo of the show, which is standing still.
Yeah.
Which is not moving.
You broke 6 seconds. What was your best?
My best was 5.94.
Yeah, I knew you broke 6.
What year was that, Chris? I don't know. It's not like
it was a little while ago, but Michael Johnson that was the year that he trained you.
Let me tell you something, Jared. The number of people who have kindly offered to train me for this 40.
Yeah.
Who put their reputations on the line to train me for the 40.
No pressure.
Who I wound up sorely disappointing by the end. I've lost track.
Hey,
but Michael Johnson is the pinnacle, with all due respect to everybody else who's kindly
He's
trained
incredible.
me.
Yeah.
And for me to let him down, I had to make. When it was all over, and I called him. I just had to call him up and just say, Michael.
Well, on the plus
I'm so
side,
sorry.
I'm sure he wasn't anticipating you running like Michael Johnson. Because no one can, So I don't think...
I should have looked at it that way, but I just didn't. I didn't have that perspective.
It'd be like getting acting lessons from Daniel Day-Lewis or something. It's like, I'll let you know, you're not going to be me, but I'll tell you.
I actually run my 40 like Daniel Day-Lewis in my left foot. It's terrible. I
like that.
Is that good? Look at
that
me.
Was good.
I'm kind of going all full circle here. I did just run it, and the results of this year's run is showing up on Saturday's NFL Network draft coverage.
I love it. I'll be watching.
So thank you. I appreciate you.
Hey, I just heard something. I'm sorry. I'm a lifelong Cowboys fan.
Go for it.
Born and raised in San Antonio.
Yes, sir.
I just heard. I didn't hear the news until I was in the green room about what was the press conference?
The Cowboys had a press conference the other day and said that they were willing to maybe trade. I mean, they didn't say anything. Nobody says anything.
Yeah,
but they did. He did. Jerry Jones did kind of make fun of Mike McCarthy walking out the door.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
He did.
All right.
The boss making a joke.
Yeah.
I don't know if we could. Can we re-rack that maybe in a second here? Let's see. Mike Hoskins wasn't expecting to do this, but I mean, what if? So who's the showrunner of Walker? For instance?
Walker is showrun by Anna Fricke.
Okay.
And funny enough, Anna Fricke, I knew prior to Walker. She's written for many shows. Yes. She wrote Valor with Matt Barr before we worked together on Walker.
So now you're look at you all together.
Yeah,
again.
but
Fantastic.
her husband, Jeremy Carver, had run a show I had done called Supernatural for about 3 or 4 of our 15 years.
So she's the boss, right?
She's the boss.
Okay, let's just say there's a press conference.
Yeah.
Okay, you're sitting in between
Anna Fricke
and whoever's the second showrunner, if there is one. Let's just say just put it or whatever.
Yeah.
It's a press conference, and she makes a joke at your expense. This is basically. Do we have it now? This is the end of the press conference with Mike McCarthy. What is he supposed to do?
You can read all the mock drafts. You can see all the things that maybe were officially polled quietly by other general managers.
Would you look like Mike in the middle right there?
I think so.
Decision if we say, hey, here's an opportunity.
Looks like he's doing his best Belichick.
Yeah, we had quite a bit higher than
Here it comes.
Where he's fallen to now. It might be worth considering giving up something.
Well, I made one on Manziel a few years ago, and that didn't go so well.
That's true. Okay. So he's making fun of himself here about Johnny Manziel.
6, 7, 8 picks out. And, we always ask the question, what would it take to go up and get him? Does it take your bottom of the second round pick to go get him? And, we 9 times out of 10 we'll have that conversation. So
drafting's not our problem. Coaching is.
He's got to get everybody.
Wow.
There you go.
And walks off with it.
It's a walk-off.
It only would have been better if he would have grabbed the mic and just dropped it and walked off.
Now, what if your showrunner made for you'd have to sit there and take it, right?
Yeah, I think my general report is a bit lighter than Mr. McCarthy. So I often ask people to make fun of me. He was. It literally looks like he was trying to do his best Bill Belichick.
Well, one thing for sure is he definitely didn't think he was about to take some shrapnel.
No. Or maybe he knew. Maybe he was kind of. It looked like he was dreading what was to come.
So you're from San Antonio, and you love the...
I was a lifelong Spurs, Cowboys, Longhorns.
Okay.
And then my commitment was kind of split between the Rangers and the Astros.
Okay.
But I think I was kind of born into... We probably watched more Rangers than Astros. it's 3 hours north to Dallas or 3 hours east to Houston. And so we'd see games for both teams. And I was born in 82. So it was a great time to be a Spurs Cowboys fan. We had the 90s and the Cowboys. Then we had the Spurs we had, Kerr and Twin Towers and Avery Johnson and Sean Elliott. I got to beat a few of the games.
Sure, and everybody's now going to the Hall of Fame. Tony Parker.
Yeah, Manu.
And Pop now is going. Sure.
Yeah, he deserves to be way up there. We were at our buddy Chris Bosch, who lives down in Austin. He and his wife Adrian and their kids. We're all friends, and we got to go to last year's Hall of Fame induction as their guests.
Damn.
Yeah.
So
pretty cool.
Do we make this about us right now, Chris? Should we do this about us?
Okay.
Of course,
So
of course,
Chris
absolutely.
Bosch was on this program.
When?
Right before his
Before
induction.
his
A couple
Hall of
months
Fame.
before.
Oh, funny. Yeah.
Yeah. So he told us how when he was recruited by Pat Riley
Yeah.
to come
He gave the speech.
to Miami, that Pat had a Crown Royal bag filled with championship rings, and he gave one to Chris, one of his own personal rings.
Yeah.
Gave one to Chris to say, hey, you can get one of these when you come here.
Yeah.
Chris had the ring, and I told him, wouldn't it be great if at the Hall of Fame ceremony you give it back?
Yeah. Look at that.
That's what he did.
Well done. Well
See,
done.
A story told by our guest about someone else made it
Yeah.
about us now. That's our special magic that we
That's
pull here,
amazing.
Jared.
Yeah, it was an amazing speech as well.
It's a special magic.
Yeah, it's
that
a
we
special
do here.
magic. Yeah,
Fantastic.
full circle.
So are you Longhorn because of where you're from, or did you go? Or
Yeah,
what?
well, I was enrolled to go to UT in 2000 when I graduated high school, and then I got a role on a show called Gilmore Girls out here in LA. And
I've heard of that show.
Yeah, it was a good show.
Yes, it was.
It was a good show.
It's a good show.
I did
Had a
that-
nice run.
It had a nice run. I was initially hired to do 4 episodes, just guest star. I ended up doing 5 years, but I had a few grants and a few scholarships to go to UT, and then I went out to LA and did Gilmore Girls. And this is a strange story maybe, but I remember my first paycheck. It was because it was $1,234, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay.
And growing up pretty simple in San Antonio, I was like, I'm rich, bitch. So it's like, UT's been there for over 100 years. I'm gonna stay here, like make some ramen money. And so
Ramen money, ladies and gentlemen. I like it.
I can buy my own ramen now.
Yes.
No, but I legitimately, I thought, I'll see how far this goes and pay off my student loans.
Yeah.
And so UT has been there for a while. I figured still be there when my 6-month stint in LA finished, and that was 23 years ago. So kind of stayed busy.
Fantastic. I love that numerology is something that you saw.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to tell me a story that the check was like Colt McCoy's number
No.
followed by Ricky Williams' number.
Well, there was no Colt McCoy yet. That was,
okay.
it was
This is
23 years ago.
pre-Colt McCoy.
It was it was year 2000.
Damn.
Yeah.
How old were you when you were on Gilmore Girls?
I was 17 when I shot the pilot. I did it till I was 22.
Wow.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yep.
All right. Your
Yeah.
wife is sitting here, so I can't ask
She
any
is.
more stories
It
about
would have been
that.
like Major Applewhite money. It would have been like, oh, this
Major
Applewhite
money. By the way, write that down. That's a great fantasy team name.
Major Applewhite money.
Major
That's a great
Applewhite
fantasy
money.
name.
It's a
I like
great
it.
fantasy
I like it.
team name. Major Applewhite is a name I don't think we've ever said.
Oh,
here.
one of the greatest comebacks.
How much Gilmore Girls do you even get today? A ton still, or you're just such a grown ass man now that you're somewhat unrecognizable? when it comes
what's
to that?
funny is that I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
A lot. When I was on Gilmore Girls, it was pre whatever it's called, not TiVo.
Yeah.
We can record it and watch it, and so I didn't see a lot of the episodes. I just kind of went to work.
DVR or anything like
DVR,
that?
DVR.
Okay, sure.
There
Good
was
use
no
of TiVo,
Netflix.
though. I think that's Major Applewhite.
That's
era.
major. Yes, exactly.
Recording, yes. Right.
So I didn't. It wasn't really a big show at the time, and I didn't see a lot of it. I was busy auditioning for other roles and this and that, and so it was after I left Gilmore Girls that people would start coming up and saying, "Oh my God, Team Dean or Team Jess or whatever." I was like, "Oh wow!" Like I think I got recognized a lot more. And since I think pandemic, a lot of people binged it.
Oh, definitely.
Because it's such a family-friendly show that if you're sitting there with your kids and you can either watch an animated show or something that you would also enjoy, and so it's kind of made a return. So it's been fun.
That is pretty cool. Who's the least expected fan of Gilmore Girls to reveal to you?
Oh gosh,
that they were a fan of Gilmore Girls.
Okay, I was at I shot a movie in Richmond, Virginia when it was a pretty dangerous spot. This would have been 03.
Okay.
And there was a bunch of us. We were all early 20s. We were playing like prep school kids. And it was a kind of horror thriller called Cry Wolf. And we had we had areas of like, it was low budget. So like, hey, don't go to this part of town. Don't go to Tobacco Row, blah, blah, blah. Y'all should stay around here. Like, yeah. Long story short, we ended up filming at a location that's near one of the dangerous spots, but we're like, hey, it's almost closed. Let's just get a drink at a bar. Like, it's going to be fine. There are 6 of us. We walk in. As soon as I walk in, there's this big, scary looking dude. And he just immediately kind of latches onto me. And I'm thinking to myself, like, oh God, like they told us not to go here. This is how it ends. Like, this is how I die. Because he wouldn't stop staring at me. And so I would do the thing where you kind of like, you look to see if, I was like, hey man, like trying to be as, meek as possible. And we go order our drinks and sit down at one of the tables. And he's still kind of like just mad dogging me. I'm like, what did I do to the guy? Like, man. And, maybe 10 minutes passes and he gets up and he starts walking over towards me. And my heart, I gotta change my underwear. And he kind of gets over and I'm like, oh God, I'm gonna get beat up. And I would just run, but there were like young ladies. And so I was like, I can't like leave them to get beat up. He comes over and he kind of looks around and he looks really suspicious. And he leans in and goes, you on the Gilmore Girls? I was like, yes, sir. And he goes, oh, I knew it. It's him. It's him. And I was like, yeah. So
another round.
Yeah. I think I swiftly went to the bathroom, threw away my underwear. But that was probably one of the strangest. But I've met a few. They kind of run together.
I love stories like that.
Yeah, there are a lot of big. Man. I think a lot of manly men.
Yes.
Types. Their spouses would watch it with their daughters, and so just be on in the background, and they maybe sit down and watch it. And so
this Gilmore Girls is not too bad.
Look at that, yeah, it's coming around.
Fantastic.
Yeah, it was good.
I have a similar story to that at the Super Bowl a few years ago between the Seahawks and the and Chris Brockman's Patriots.
Yeah.
That it was Katy Perry.
Yeah.
Doing the halftime show. And my oldest son, who's now 14, was about 7 or 8 and loves Katy Perry.
Sure.
And that's, I keep reminding him, like, hey, you were at the Super Bowl where Malcolm Butler picked off Russell Wilson. It's one of the greatest
depending
Super
on who
Bowl
you're
moments.
a fan of.
True, exactly. But still, it's like one of a top 10 moment in the history of the Super Bowl. Like, you were there for that.
Yeah.
And all he remembers is Katy Perry. But anyway, long story short is, so he was just dancing his head off, like up and down the aisle, going crazy.
The shark suit, right?
The left shark one. Exactly. That was a famous
like
left shark one.
Like the car show shark suit. Oh my gosh.
So at any rate, long story short is halftime's over. I'm sitting in the stands with my fam.
Yeah.
And some Patriot fan just up the aisle looks at me. I look at him and he calls me over and I'm like, all right, I'll go up to him and I say, hey. And he says to me, hey, your son is a heck of a dancer.
Really?
Honestly, I thought it's gonna be like, what do you think? Second half, we're gonna do this or not? No, similar to the same thing. Although I wasn't fearful of my life throughout the entire situation.
I got that's amazing. I got a quick question on that note.
Yes.
You're Pete Carroll.
Yes, sir.
What do you do? Second down, you give it to Marshawn.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think they made the right decision.
He's a Patriot fan. Exactly. Exactly.
All right. Fair enough.
So I guess
fair enough. See, exactly. Depending on who you're a fan of.
CW's Walker is again airing tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern on the CW. New episodes air every Thursday through the season finale on May 11th. So, Jared, let me ask you this: do you think we should get Arch Manning this fall, or what? Because it doesn't look like you're gonna. It looks like it's.
Well, we're 27.
Quinn Ewers, right? Isn't that what they're talking about right now?
Yep.
Oh, really?
So,
I've been. I don't want to say blissfully ignorant, but
it's okay. But you got Arch coming. I mean,
I can't wait.
Royalties coming.
That's awesome.
So are you like a big, Bevo guy and just go to the games?
Yeah.
All right.
I am. And actually,
can you get Bevo on an episode of Walker? What do you think?
Oh my God. Yeah. Once we find out about next season, maybe we have to go save Bevo. We met. Speaking of bees, very different. But nice. Our son, we have 2 sons, 11 and 9. Our daughter is 6, and our son Tom. He was being coached by one of the Longhorn backup receivers.
Yes.
And Bijan came to a game, and like it's just in a field by Austin High School.
Hold
and
on a
he,
second.
yes,
Give me this story again.
So our son was playing flag football.
Yeah.
And
Age 9?
He was probably 10 at the time.
10? Okay.
He's 11 now.
Yeah.
And Bijan showed up to come and like talk to the kids
Get out
and
of here.
give them little bits here and there and signing stuff and taking pictures. And it was, he was like throwing the ball with the kids and running around.
This
and
is what it's all about. And I was talking about it earlier this week, Jared, is that this is a metric as far as I'm concerned, whether you want to draft somebody.
Yeah,
I understand
yeah.
that we're playing football, we're trying to win.
Sure.
But it's also like you want somebody who's going to be out in the community.
Yeah.
And that when you're sitting there at 2 or you're sleeping at 2 a.m, the phone's not going to ring. It's not
Right,
gonna
right.
ring,
Yeah,
you know?
that's like we had a few of those we had a few of the bad ones, like, T.O. in his later years. And whatnot.
I mean, he's honestly, I'm thrilled to hear that story. That is so cool.
Yeah, it's sweetest
Pictures
guy.
and everything. You got, I'm
Tons.
sure your kid still talks about it.
Absolutely. And we got to buy some of his mustard. I haven't tried it yet. But
By the way, great name, Bijan for mustard.
Bijan Mustardson.
It's it.
Good.
Yeah, that's it. That's what it's called.
But yeah, just a class act. And that's, I mean, being a Cowboy fan lifelong, that's why I love like Dak.
Yeah,
just
of course,
I mean,
absolutely.
And I'll shout out to your boy Brady. I know he went to Tampa Bay, but seems like a nice guy. Seems like famous
absolutely.
as all
I
get
love
up. But
So, congrats on the success of Walker.
Thank you. Yeah.
You're welcome.
It's
and come back anytime.
I'd love to.
Seriously,
I'd love to.
Let's-
I'll bring Matt Barr back.
Matt, absolutely, bring him back.
Yeah.
He got married. Is what you said?
He got married last weekend in Mexico. So I think we're still detoxing.
Destination wedding. Huh?
It was a destination wedding, and it was a hell of a gang.
Now let me ask this question.
Yeah.
I'm going to go there as
All
we
right.
finish up. Sure. Now I know your wife is here. Sorry,
She's
what's
beautiful.
your wife's name again?
Genevieve.
Genevieve.
Hey,
Whenever
back off. Back
my
off.
wife and I go to a destination wedding,
Yeah.
I say
Okay.
when she says, we're going to get him a gift, I'm like, why?
Oh yeah.
Because I'm going to their wedding
Sure.
on a flight
Yeah.
and hotel
Getting
rooms,
a hotel room.
all of that. Shouldn't my presence be my present?
That's good.
And
That's a dad joke right there.
It's
I'm
not
gonna
a dad
give it
joke.
to you.
It's the
It's good.
truth, though.
It's good.
It's
Yeah.
the truth. Let me just put it this way: we still got something off the registry. I don't
Yeah.
win this battle. But
Yeah.
Are you thinking the same thing? I don't mean to get in the middle of anything
I
right
would
here.
love
but
to. I don't think they have a registry.
They didn't.
They said
No
no gifts.
gifts.
There you go.
Well, thank
So
you.
you're
Yeah.
off the hook.
I'm all about
What's the matter
giving-
with the bars.
Yeah,
What's
we'll,
this about?
we'll do something for them. Well,
Okay.
they're both adults and very successful in their careers, and I think they were saying,
You
like
could still use a plate
I
or
get it.
a fork
Yeah,
or
we'll
like
do
a
something.
like an urn.
Fruitcake,
You
yeah.
still need it. You still need
an
a
urn. Jesus,
an urn.
that
I
might
don't
be
know. I mean, yeah, it's
that might be
something,
the wrong
what is
message.
it? I'm not urn.
Oh, I was thinking like,
like a
why don't we buy him a
pitcher?
casket?
A ewer.
A vase?
Quinn-ewer. You need a Quinn-ewer.
I'm not even sure what that means. God bless you. We'll send them a bottle of champagne or something.
They have a wedding website, like everyone does now.
Did you
these
look it
days.
up?
I'm on the registry page, and it says, "We kindly and respectfully request no gifts.
No
Your
gifts.
journey to celebrate with us is more than we could ask for."
Look at that.
See, I love the bars.
Yeah.
These are good people.
How can
Because
you
they
not?
don't put it on me to say, come to our wedding.
Yeah.
Get a hotel room. And
I
then,
wonder, what about,
something for the effort on top of it? Come on.
What about like birthdays and like Valentine's days? How are you and your wife about gifts then?
We're good with gifts.
You
Sure.
good with giving them or not?
Giving them what to each other? You're
Yeah,
talking?
because we kind of have a thing. December's a big month for us. We have one of our kids' birthdays, Christmas. Her birthday is in January, and then
that's a lot.
there's Valentine's Day in February, and then
Yeah.
our anniversary is the end of February.
Oh, my God.
So December, January, February are pretty big, and so we're always kind of like, hey, let's just get a bite to eat somewhere. Like let's take each other out for a date. But then,
gosh.
we say that, but then on her birthday, she wakes up early and she's looking around like for. No, I'm just kidding. She's not like that. at all.
No. I
she's-
made the huge mistake of the first holiday season after we got married.
Yeah.
My wife needed a laptop, and she was talking about it, so I got her a laptop for the holidays.
It's very romantic.
Yeah, I haven't. That's
Was it the wrong
technology
laptop?
I've gotten.
Did you go PC instead of Mac or Mac instead of PC?
Didn't matter. It wasn't the choice of laptop. It was just the
You should get
I
our
was an idiot.
gaming.
I just got married. What do I know?
At
I'm
least
the
it was
idiot
a-
who says I'm not buying people for their weddings because they're making me get on a plane.
Yeah.
So what am I
Your
talking
presence is the present.
about? At JarPad on Twitter, right?
Yes, that sounds right.
Okay. At Jared Padalecki on Instagram. Everybody check out a new episode of Walker tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern on the CW. Let's do this again soon, sir.
Absolutely.
Right here on The Rich Eisen Show. Catch The Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern for free.